Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are now diving into part two of my Green Ranger build as a tribute to the late JDF. Now, this video has been taking a while to get out there. I do apologize for that. I've been extremely busy, it being the holidays and all that fun stuff. So I do apologize for that. But I'm here. I'm making sure that I'm keeping my word, that I'm going to build this armor from start to finish. As you can see over here, the arms are already done as well as the legs. And I'm going to go through how I did that and show you guys how these things fit. So for those of you who are coming back to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you who are new, thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, like I stated in my last video, I am not going to push any type of social media follows or any type of YouTube subscribes or Patreon pledges or anything like that. This video is strictly for me building this armor as a tribute to JDF. As I said before, I don't want to ride on the coattails of his death in order to gain more subscribers. So I'm not going to be pushing any of that, but if you do want to subscribe, have at it. And the links to all of my socials are in the bio or comment section description. I don't know what people call it these days. So before we get started with this build, I kind of want to go into a lot of you guys. I asked a lot of you guys to share your most fond JDF stories, and I wanted to kind of share those for other people. So if you guys are watching this video and you met JDF at a Comic-Con or a Power Morphicon or wherever, and you got a really cool story that you want to share, like, write it in the comments, dude. I love reading like people's interactions with this guy because he was so just down to earth and such a soulful dude. So I'm going to read a few of the comments that I got from Facebook and as well as from YouTube. And if you guys feel like sharing your stories, I might be able to read them on part 3 of this build, which would be the chest armor, which I'm really excited for that. I hope everything goes well. There's a lot to kind of go from there, but I hope everything kind of works out as it does. All right, so we're going to go to our first comment. This one is from Christopher Salgado on my YouTube channel. I met JDF in Las Vegas a year ago. No kidding, Las Vegas. That's awesome. A year ago, and he was an experience. Yes, he is an experience. I agree. I will never forget, he was such a kind and humble man. He took the time to really connect with me, and we spoke for 20 minutes during the signing. I was just so lifted by his positivity and just so happy. I was talking to my childhood hero and getting to tell him how much he meant to me as a kid growing up, especially during my parents' divorce. You know, that is very common that I hear those kinds of stories where he just stops what he's doing and he would talk to people. He would get to know everybody that came to see him at a Comic-Con or a Power Morphicon, wherever you were seeing him. He's such a down-to-earth dude, and he took a lot of pride in letting people know that, hey man, I know you watched me on TV and I'm here for you. I'm doing all these conventions because I want to meet everyone who watched me on TV when they were, 8 or 9 years old. And, like I said, I never got to meet the guy, but I hear so many that's just like great stories about people who met him, and stories just like this, where he takes the time out of a busy schedule at Comic-Cons where he has hundreds, maybe even thousands of fans that are waiting in line for God knows how long to meet this guy, and he's taking 20 minutes out of his entire day. That's a long time. That's a long time when you're going through hundreds of fans. And he's taking this amount of time, 20 minutes, to talk to one guy who has watched him since Mighty Morph premiered in 1993. That's crazy. That's so cool. Man, I'm kind of jealous of you, man. I'm a little bit jealous of you, Chris. I'm a little bit jealous of you. I don't really know what to say to that, but I'm glad you got that experience from him. And anybody else who's had any similar experiences, write it in the comments. I really want to know how everyone interacted with him and their experiences with JDF. It's so cool, dude. It's so cool. And this one comes from Miguel Merchan. I hope I pronounced that right, dude. I apologize if I butchered your last name, but this is what he had to say. Only had one meeting with the guy at Fan Expo many years ago. Despite showing up mentally drained, seeing his fans perked him up. I only wanted a couple signatures of his work, and I wished him a happy early birthday. He froze for a moment and then proceeded to ask me if I wanted to take a picture together. I froze as well, and then said yes. That moment will forever live in my head. May he rest well and the power protect him forever. it's just that's so amazing just to hear that. You know, he's tired, he's exhausted, he's been doing these Comic Cons. He does them probably every weekend or so, and he just makes the time for his fans. And that just kind of solidifies with me what kind of person JDF was. He was such just a loving guy, so down to earth, so willing to just help his fans. And I mean, man, that strikes a chord with me, man. I'm really happy, Miguel, that you were able to experience that. And anybody else who have any stories, put them in the comments, hit it up on Facebook, whatever you want to do. I will read every single comment that there is from people who have experienced some type of interaction with JDF. Okay, so thank you guys for your comments and your stories. I really do appreciate it. Now, let's get on over to the good stuff. All right, so it's been almost a little over 2 weeks since I uploaded part 1. Like I said, I've been working nonstop to getting the rest of the armor built and sliced and done, and it's just been hectic, especially now being it being the holidays. But I did get the armor done, and I think on part 1 of the video, I was working on the second arm. So here are the arms right here, the gauntlets. I kind of taped them up with tape to kind of give you guys an idea of what this is going to ultimately look like. I can't, maybe I can. There we go. So this is how it's going to fit on my arm. It looks really good. A little bulky, a little big, but I really don't mind it. I'm a big guy, so this probably looks proportionate to me if I'm standing up or something like that. So I really don't mind. But as you can see, I have really big hands and it fits just right. So here's the other one. See if I can fit my hands. Yeah, there we go. They're going to be needed to be padded out with foam. Just going to say that right now. I need foam. Okay, so I haven't really decided how I'm going to do this. Maybe weld them together and just have them like that, or maybe insert magnets into the seams to make them lock up. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's really going to be interesting to see how this comes together. I have a little kind of bonus or whatever. I got these white gloves that for some reason came with a long sleeve Red Ranger shirt that I bought. Don't know why these would come with a shirt, but whatever, they did. So I figured I'd try these on and see how they look within the gloves, because I'm going to be wearing white gloves, obviously, with the suit once the main suit comes in, or more or less once I order the main suit. Again, I have really big hands. Ugh. I feel like one of those 1920s girls that's going out to the club with the long gloves and they got the little smoke and stuff like that. All right, so. Oh boy. There it is. So that's essentially how it's going to look. Like I said, this is actually pretty big, but I would rather have it too big than too small to where I can't really fit my hand in. But like I said, once this is padded out with some cushion, some foam inside, this will fit really good, really snug, and it'll be conformed to my hand to where I can turn my wrist and stuff, and everything would work with it. So this is actually pretty dope. I dig it. I like these gloves. I might use these gloves for my suit. I don't know. Who knows? All right, so with that being said, let's jump on over to how the leg armor turns. So this is the STL for the leg armor. As you can see, this thing is pretty freaking big. It came this way. Actually, no, it didn't come this way. I actually sized this model to fit my body. I have really big legs, years of martial arts. I have really big calves. So I really had to measure my legs, X, Y, and Z, and figure out what numbers kind of work for my leg and go from there. So I went here and I did that, and I'm actually using mesh mixer right now to actually cut through it. So first thing that I did was I got rid of the instep, the part that covers the instep of the foot. I didn't feel as though that was needed, as I'm going to be wearing boots. Haven't really figured out how I'm going to get these things connected to the boots. That's probably going to be something for a later video in this series. But I cut it off because it was useless. I didn't need it. I don't want to use it. Let's just get rid of it here. So after I did that, I went ahead and cut this thing right down the middle vertically to make it a front side and make it a back side, to make it two separate parts. Because like I said, you have to figure out how you're going to get these things on. And I wanted to kind of maybe put some magnets in it to where if I'm going to put it on my calf, it'll just click together just like that. Very simple, very easy. You don't really have to do any rocket science for that. The only problem is that you want to make sure that you want to size it to the right size to where they actually do meet and connect, so the magnets can actually do their thing. Or what I had an idea for is if there's a gap between each part, maybe line some LEDs in there and have a green glow coming out of it. That'd be cool, right? I don't know. We might have to consider that idea going forward. But once I did that, I knew that the backside was actually it was actually good enough to be put on a print bed, because the only thing that makes the front side taller is the part that covers the knee. The knee part is actually very tall, and for some print beds, that's not going to happen. So with the front side, I actually had to end up cutting off maybe about 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches of the main ankle part, so that this full part could actually fit on my print bed. So I actually have 3 parts for each of the legs: the back, the front top, and the bottom top, or front bottom, however you want to say it, whatever. Little piece, about like 4 to 6 inches, like I said, and it prints perfectly fine. So once that was done, I threw it in my slicer, threw it on my printer, and waited about 26 hours for both of these parts to be done. Didn't take that long. Took about 13 hours for the front part to print. Took about maybe 10 hours for the back part to print. Took about an hour and a half for that little piece to print, and that was it. So let's go see how this thing came out. Well, this front part of the leg anklet just got done printing. It looks fantastic. I hope this thing really fits my leg, but so far it took about 15 hours for it to print, and it looks pretty seamless. There is some seaming issue down here, but again, this is going to be sanded, eventually filled and painted, so I'm not really caring about that. But so far this doesn't look half bad. Now to start with the left leg, or is this the left leg? I don't really remember. So here is the front of the leg, and here is the back. So they connect like that. But as you can see, there's a little part missing. That is because the front part was too big for my print bed. So I had to cut a part off, which is this little guy right here, which fit over the ankle. So I made this cut because it's just going to be welded into place, and I'm just going to sand in the seams and stuff, so you won't even know that it's there. But that does fit literally right here like that. I can't keep it together, I'm sorry, but you get the idea. So if I do that, keep that in place, and then put this here like that, you see how it all fits. Like I said, I have big calves. This thing is ginormous, but it's gonna look super sick. So let's try and fit it on. This is for my left leg. So if I'm doing this is the back portion of it. It feels pretty good. Now there is some parts up here, these little sharp edges that sometimes dig into the back of my knee, but probably easier to sand it down, which is what I'm probably gonna do. But it does feel it feels good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to have these on my ankles. This is so cool. And then we have the front, which because of that cut, it goes up a little bit. The part here needs to block the knee. So if I go here like that, it feels pretty freaking snug. I'm excited for this. Oh my god. Now there is the same issue here where like the edges here are kind of digging into the side of my knee. Again, probably end up sanding that down. No one's going to see the inside anyway. So when you're doing these things, you want to make sure that you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you're going to have some problems, especially if you're going to be planning on wearing this around in cosplays and stuff. So if I do that with the front, it fits pretty well. There is some issue a little bit where it's not closing all the way, but that's probably due to like alignment issues or something along that line, which I would have to figure out and kind of go where I want to go in terms of making this work. But for the most part, this thing feels really good. I can bend my leg freely, and this is just with turning it on and putting it on without any like tape or anything like that. I still don't really know how I want to do this in terms of putting them together. Am I going to use magnets? Maybe I'm thinking about using some Velcro. I don't know. I'm just getting the parts together. That's something to kind of think about going forward. But for the most part, this thing looks really good. See, in that video, it doesn't really close all the way. I might have missed it by 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch, which is fine. I'm actually starting to consider maybe just using the front side to kind of get that aesthetic. I don't need the whole entire thing covering my calf. It'd be cool, but maybe I'll just forego that part, or try and jerry rig something to where both of these parts can fit on the boot together. Now, like I said, this is going to be somehow attached to a boot that's going to be part of the suit. I don't really know how I'm going to do that. I have to start looking at boots to see how this is actually going to work and fit. So there's a lot that goes into that, but give me, I don't know, however long this project is going to take. When we get there, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, folks. But for the most part, I'm really happy with how these things turned out. I'm really excited with what is going to ultimately be the final product. So these things are actually really big. They're solid. I'm not really complaining about it, and this part does come up and cover my knee, and it feels snug. I mean, it feels great. I don't have any complaints. Each of them is exclusive to the right and left leg, mainly because I went in and I mirrored the part. So, you know, you might want to do that. I probably should have mentioned that before, but if you made it this far in the video, if you're going to build this armor, make sure you do mirror the part, because they do have a slight curvature that's exclusive to only one leg. So if you're going to do both legs, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you're going to have to mirror the part in order for this to fit right on the opposite leg. So just fair warning, it's comfortable when you do that, okay? Awesome. That's about it for this video. I really don't have anything else to kind of go on. The shell, the dragon shield that I'm working on right now, is actually going to be a little bit more complex because it is the main part. I have to measure my top of my chest, how far I want it to come out, and how I want it to fit snug on here. Of course, there's the straps that connect the shield together on your body, as well as the bicep couplings that I have to measure my arms for. But as of now, I kind of have a pretty good idea how I'm going to measure that, and I'm actually going to be getting started with that pretty soon. So I will keep you guys updated with that. Until then, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will be hopefully not 2 weeks later coming up with part 3, maybe within the next week or so, coming at you with part 3 on building the dragon shield. And then after that, we have all of our parts printed. Everything is made. Everything is ready to go. All I got to do is sand these bad boys down, give them a nice coat of paint, maybe throw some LEDs on there to get the green glow going, and then we're going to be suiting up. And I'm really excited to see how this is all going to play out. So part 1 of printing this stuff, which is actually not part 1, step 1 of printing this stuff, is actually almost done. And that's pretty much the easy part. The hard part comes with sanding, the painting, the filling in, the cracks, and all that stuff, which will be much later down the line. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll be coming at you with part 3 pretty soon. So stick around. I got so much more to tell you guys and to work with you on what I'm doing. And if you have any JDF stories, drop it in the comments below. I'm looking forward to reading them. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys next time on part 3. Adios.